Hey everyone.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Monday Night with the Watsons.
That's right. Real talk, real relationships.
Real talk, real relationships with the Watsons.
Yeah.
So for those of you joining in, let us know that you're...
It looks like
give us
we're
some
still on.
emojis.
Yeah.
Let us know where you are tuning in from. If you feel called, please share out this video to all of your Facebook friends so that they can get some real relationship talk with the Watsons.
That's right.
too.
That's right. So I'm Josh Watson.
I'm Ashley Watson, and we're both psychotherapists and spiritual life coaches and yoga meditation teachers. We're basically the same person, but we're different. And we're married to each other.
That's right. And we do have differences too, but they complement each other, right?
I know, I'm just teasing.
I'm teasing too.
No, you're not.
Wink, wink. So we have a great topic for you today.
Really good topic.
Yeah.
That was inspired
Yeah.
by,
We've actually been talking with a lot of people who have kind of come up against the same thing, right? In relationships. And so we thought we'd really kind of delve into this with you all today about how to really set yourself up for relationship success.
Yes, right? Because I think so often, right, we have these old patterns, right, that we keep kind of repeating in a way until we learn the lesson, and then we want to get into a relationship where we don't have to learn the same lesson again, but we don't know like how to get there. And one of the ways that we're going to teach you how to get there is by what we're going to teach you today.
Right. I remember, when I was like 22, I was living with a girlfriend at the time, and
You lived with someone else before
I did.
Joshua!
It's the first time I've ever told her. Oh, she's known. And what was but you know what? I knew that relationship wasn't going to work. And
How did you know?
You just get that feeling.
Did you get it before you moved in?
No, I didn't. But anyway, let me get to the story. But it was all good because, one of the things that I realized was what I was interested after that or during that was what was the unseen forces that either make it work or make it fall apart.
Ooh.
And so that for me was really the beginning of really wanting to know more about love, relationships, marriage, family, and to really understand how all of that works.
When you say unseen forces, what do you mean? That sounds like very mysterious.
Well, you know what? It is mysterious until you know.
Right, so we have to help our fans out there see the unseen.
Seeing the unseen. So the unseen forces really are how, I think, at least how I've come to understand, is how love is passed down from generation to generation, right? And how each one of us is, really at least in part, the product of the love that's been shared down. Mm-hmm. Part of the love that's been shared and the disorders of love.
Yeah.
And so how that helps to shape each one of us as a person. And I think what that set me up on a mission for, inadvertently, was to really come to recognize how those disorders of love and the love that I had received, both from my family and the generations prior, have really impacted me and my ability to be in a relationship in a loving way. And then also to do the work to be able to unwind those ways that weren't so helpful. And so I think, with all of this, what's going to help set each one of you up for a relationship success is getting to know what those unseen forces are for you.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time choosing a partner or introducing it to your partner, of being able to be willing to explore that themselves. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what's going to make the difference. So
it sounds like what you're saying is really being able to understand and recognize what your patterns and maybe sometimes dysfunctional behavior, dysfunctional thinking, right, really impacts who you are and your relationship dynamics, so that when you bring consciousness to it, you can shift it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that, setting yourself up for that relationship success is really first having the willingness to really look at some of those unseen forces or family dynamics. And I think what we're talking about is just being a willing participant in your own self-discovery and how love has impacted you, and choosing a partner that's also willing to do the same. Doesn't mean they have had to do the same, but that there's a willingness there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that for both of us really attracted to each other, among many things, was the willingness to be able to look at each other's behavior, like look at our own behaviors, right? Versus just like attacking the other person.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Right? And so I think, oftentimes what happens is that you can get into a relationship and things can be going amazingly well, because that's usually when you start a relationship, that's when things are like the easiest.
Right.
And there's just like so much love and chemistry and everything is new and super exciting, right? But then at some point, eventually, you're going to come into a conflict, and it might be something ridiculous, it may be something more serious, but it's also like, how do you, in those times, in those moments of conflict, bring in those invisible forces that Josh was talking about, of our ways of relating, our ways of loving, our ways of withholding love, our ways of connecting with love and through love, that really, really matter and impact those moments of conflict, which can be a place of true growth and expansion for each individual and as the couple, or destruction.
Totally. Right, and it's your awareness of it playing out that allows you to participate in either slowing down the momentum of those more destructive patterns and choosing to show up with more love and awareness. Right? Because it's interesting how these patterns can just seep right into us,
without even thinking about it.
And often that's how it happens, without even thinking about it.
Yeah. I was just actually talking to a client recently about this and her patterns in her relationship, and how she grew up just saying, like, I just don't want to be like my mom. Right? I just don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like my mom in relationships. And then all of a sudden, here she is, acting just like her mom. Nobody wants to do that ever, right?
Depends on what it is.
It's rare, right? No, everybody has these types of behaviors where they see their parents sort of going through and be like, when I grow up, I'm never going to do that, right?
Right.
I think everybody's got at least one or two of those from their parents, right?
That's natural.
And so it's like those behaviors that sometimes like are just almost like ingrained in us, that we don't even recognize them as a part of ourselves, are the ones that we really have to be most mindful to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we can only notice them by our willingness to want to see them. Because, underneath it is I think this is important, is like the understanding that I will have a better experience of myself and my relationship by being willing to see those perhaps darker parts.
Yeah.
And I think one of my mentors said it so nicely. It's just basically like turning over a rock.
Yeah. And
just kind of seeing the dirt and the worms and all that stuff. And I think when we become aware of the unseen forces in our family, we're going to see, of course, how love has worked and helped people grow, but also just the ways that it's been, hurtful or, among other things.
Manipulative or
abusive,
and how we can, what are the things that we need to do to heal that, so that we can have really beautiful, healthy, loving relationships.
Right. And then that's wonderful. I mean, the thing is that like love is the thing that can really heal those generational patterns.
It's really the only thing that can do it.
Right. Love and awareness.
You need the combo, but yeah.
You do need the combo.
You do need the combo.
Right.
Love and awareness.
Love and awareness. And I think that's what we're all like when we go into a relationship, whether it's known or not. That's what we're really looking for is, underneath perhaps the patterns being played out, or maybe looking for somebody to validate our bullshit, right? Or buy into it.
Just tell it like it is, Joshua.
Yeah, buy my bullshit and maybe we'll get along. But for people who are looking to really have a real experience of relationship where it's conscious partnership, what we're looking for is that love with awareness.
Yes.
Right? And where we can feel seen, heard, and like we belong.
Mm-hmm.
So that for you is a choice that you have to make for yourself.
Yes.
Right? And also in who you're choosing as your partner.
Mm-hmm. Are they willing to look there? Are they willing to turn over the rock and see what's under there? Even if they don't agree, right? Because it's, sometimes, we'll be having a discussion and, right? We're having a discussion and one person might say to the other person, or, it's vice versa, whatever. What I feel like is happening is this pattern is playing out. And then the willingness to just say, is that a really pattern? Do I feel does that resonate with me or not? And being able to accept when it does and be able to not necessarily be defensive when it doesn't, but to be understanding about why the other person may be seeing things that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so being able to slow down the momentum enough to just be able to see the pattern that's playing out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's really important in terms of like... as a way of between two people being able to dismantle some of those old patterns that pass through the generations, right?
Right.
So that we can choose to create something new
Yes.
and different
and
exciting
yeah!
and joyful and full of love. Yes. Love that moment when that happens.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Right? Because, the reality is like we can do a lot of healing on our own, but at some point we are going to have to, not have to, but we are going to want to be in relationship with somebody else and learn from that experience too. And that's okay. It's still a learning experience and you're not going to be perfect at it.
And you'll learn... It's just your willingness to be able to do it is that you'll learn how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And also sometimes I think too, and having a partner that's willing, right?
Yep.
So being willing yourself also, as we were talking about earlier, being willing and leading with love yourself will also naturally attract to you a partner that is also willing to do their own internal work and their own internal system awareness. Yeah. So that when you are in relationship to each other, that you have this capacity to have a really deep healing connected moment even in the most difficult moments.
Right, exactly. And with that there's this, with you having your own understanding of the order, love and the disorder of love in your family and how it has perhaps wounded you and you've had to heal it, and bringing awareness to that, you can also then hold awareness for your partner. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that would be a mutual, experience where you both really understand the other person and understand their wound and also the healing, and through your loving connection that mutually together you grow.
Yes.
And new patterns come from that love rather than from the wound playing itself out.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So in that otherwise, if there's not consciousness or the willingness to look at things with awareness, then the old patterns can play themselves out and it can be really painful.
Right. And really destructive to the relationship. And
to the other people who happen to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Like children and other family. And
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, and I think that the thing is that it's not like we're gonna like heal it all.
Yeah.
But it's the willingness to show it with love and awareness that can heal anything that happens.
That's true.
So if you have any comments,
or questions, let us know. We want you to have a relationship that is set up for success.
Yes, and really the key is choosing to love with awareness, and that begins with yourself. And when you do choose a partner, making sure that they have the willingness at least to do the same. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We adore you, we love you, and we're so excited to see you next week.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Bye.